Welcome back to the channel, RacerX here, and today I'm back with my good buddies at Gearheads Automotive in Mansfield, Texas, and I had to take the Mustang down here. Had a bit of an unforeseen issue with the Mustang. Last time I took it out to the track, the car, it ran great, but ever since then I have noticed a little bit of kind of oil leaking. I don't know if it has anything to do with the track or not, but I'm a little bit worried. I don't think I hurt the engine, but we've got to take a good hard look at the Mustang, figure out what's wrong with it. We're gonna have to get it up on a lift. It's due for an oil change anyway, so it's always good to kind of have the car get a checkup, and hopefully we can diagnose what the problem is, and hopefully it's not major. We will find out here shortly, guys. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and here we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
All right, guys, this is behind the scenes here at Gearheads, and as you can see, they have lots of project cars going on as usual. Tons of Mustangs in here. Of course, that's kind of what this shop is known for, but they are also doing a lot of Mopar work now as well. This car here is actually getting a Hellion sleeper kit on it as well. But as you can see, my car is up here on the lift. We've got everything kind of just being diagnosed at the moment. Hunter is kind of the guru, and he's going to come under here and take a quick look at what's actually happening here. Fixing the car up and making sure it is healthy. All right, so the cover is actually off the car here, guys. We've been kind of diagnosing some things, and I will tell you, some oil kind of blew out the top of where the dipstick was. I was really freaking out. I was kind of hoping I didn't blow the motor last time. You can see they're doing their handiwork here. Charlie's trying not to make a huge mess while he's up here kind of checking on the bottom of the car. But it looks like we had some leaking underneath here, and you can see the lines up here. So we're gonna actually pull those lines off and kind of check them to see why we have the leak going on, and then hopefully do a little bit of damage control, and it's nothing too crazy.
2 hours later.
All right, guys, so here is the underside of the car, obviously looking from the other direction. As you can see, we do have the twin turbos here. These are the oil lines that feed the turbos. Very important component of this particular system. And unfortunately, I have been scraping the bottom of the car. Now, I will just go ahead and tell you, I do run the drag pack most of the time. So you can see you've got the drag pack wheels, which actually make the car sit a little bit lower as it is. And basically what we had to do now, we had to take these lines off, and you can see all the scraping that's been going on under here. Look right here. What they had to do is we had to actually run a bead right here because this sheared off this. It actually made a hole in this. That's where it was leaking from. We went ahead and replaced all these lines that were getting scraped up, and he kind of rerouted just a little bit in terms of how this sits under the car. And as you can see right up here, we weren't getting the scraping here, but we were getting the scraping here. This is actually from the initial accident I had in the blue car, believe it or not. And then you can see that we basically got everything tucked up here really nice and neat. We got fresh oil in the car. So hopefully that will solve the issue for right now, and that's only you know, for now. So we may have to actually make something for the bottom of this car to keep it from scraping. So one of the things that Hunter actually talked about doing was taking a pipe very similar to this and kind of welding it up underneath. Actually not welding it, but bolting it up underneath here in a very specific way. We'll put some bends in there, and instead of scraping on the turbo kit, maybe it'll just scrape up the pipe instead. We were even getting some scraping on the charge pipe here, guys, which we just repainted, but both charge pipes are getting a little bit scraped up. This system does sit pretty close to the ground, but luckily I don't think we have any major holes in the system. Everything's been fixed. I think we're in good shape. Disaster averted. Now, one other option that we did try to explore is maybe some beaded lines here as well. That might actually be something that has an additional strength and maybe wouldn't have so much shear if it was to bottom out again. But we'll just wait and see how this does. We do have some additional zip ties here, kind of keeping everything nice and tight. So Hunter did a fantastic job with trying to get this up and out of the way. We actually did a little bit different kind of angle right here with this connector. So let's hope this does what the desired thing is and keeps this thing up off the ground. And then, like I mentioned, we may go ahead and fab up some special, almost like skid plate type things on the car, just to make sure it hits that instead of the turbo system itself, just for an additional measure of safety. So guys, this is just kind of part of the deal when you run a system like this, and it's not really typical. Like I said, I run it on the drag pack with those front runners on it pretty much all the time because it just holds the power so well. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to get your car in pretty regularly, not only for just oil changes, which we did perform today. Not a cheap oil change, guys. 10 quarts of oil is what that monster takes, and we put AMSOIL 550 in it, synthetic. So it's like $150 oil change at the end of the day. But it's just, in order to give a good health check to the car, make sure that it's running properly, check all the fluids, make sure nothing looks out of place, make sure the wires are still where they need to be, and really for my own peace of mind, I do like to get the car in here and have the pros look at it and make sure everything is happy and healthy. It's kind of like if you go to the dentist all the time, right? Typically we have nicer teeth if we go to the dentist. No different with our cars, guys. You have to maintain them, and I'm just glad that I didn't blow up the motor on this thing, and it was leaking oil for something that was relatively easy to fix, so we lived to fight another day. All good news. All right, we're just getting everything all buttoned up now. Everything looks actually really good. And that is about it. This is meant to be just a very short, sweet video. Obviously, very important to keep the car maintained. Big shout out to the guys here at Gearheads Automotive. It's already dark on me. It's like 5 o'clock, unfortunately. So I'll also be back down here very soon because I have to get them to wire in a watt box so that we can enable the two-step on this car. Then we're going to start getting some good 60-foot times, and hopefully we can get back out to the quarter mile in this thing and see what it will really do after it's getting some boost out of the hole, and that will really change the game. I'm looking forward to it. Once again, guys, I appreciate you sticking in with me, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.